Hey, welcome to another session of KickBack Bible Study. We are in the book of Exodus. So now we will be continuing with chapter 20. Moses is on the mount. The fog is coming down. It is down. So here we go. Exodus chapter 20. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpets and the mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove to you, and for his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen, and I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and thou shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings and thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by step unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Chapter 21. Now, revamping chapter 20. So that's the 10 Commandments, that many may be familiar with. Now, I want to make sure that there's a clarification, because some people get adultery and idolatry confused. Now, when God says thou shalt not make when he says thou shalt not commit adultery, that's what we generally understand as, cheating on your wife or your husband or whatever, stepping outside of that, cheating with somebody else's wife, husband, whatever. That's adultery. But idolatry is really the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. So that's when idolatry is when you take something else and put it in the place of worship of God. So when people pray to statues, or they worship the moon or the sun or what have you, these are all different forms of idolatry, because he says thou shalt have no other gods before me. So if you give something the position of worship, that's putting something before God, because there is nothing before God. You can't pray to a moon or a statue and not disrespect the oneness and the authority that is God. Chapter 21. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have bore him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges, and he shall also bring him unto the door and unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as the maid servants do. If she pleases not her master, who hath bothered her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed to sell her unto a strange nation. He shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if we have bothered her unto his son, he shall dwell with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her remnant, and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. If he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. So chapter 21. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have bore him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges, and he shall also bring him unto the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as the maid servants do. If she please not her master, who hath bothered her who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed to sell her unto a strange nation. He shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if he betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her remnant, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall surely be put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, then thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die. So what that means is that if somebody killed somebody, but it was something that I did, somebody ran up on him and I was like, hey, handle your business. If he came to fight you, fight back. It wasn't something that was done sneakily, hiding behind a bush, trying to wait to kill somebody. He's saying that if a man lie not in wait, so that means when they say lie not in wait, that's like not being sneaky, but God deliver him unto his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. So if God told you if it was ordained by God that this person die at your hands, then God will make sure that you have some place to escape to. It said, but if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, y'all remember that word guile, beguiled, the serpent in the Garden of Eden beguiled Eve. So tricked, if you do it sneakily, you killing somebody being sneaky, it says, then thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die. Now he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished. He shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall surely be punished according to the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his manservant or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If an oxen gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and the flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the oxen shall be quit. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in past time, and have been seen testify to his owner, and he hath not kept him in, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner shall also be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to his judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them that the dead beast shall be in his. And if one man's ox hurts another that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also shall they divide. Or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in time past, and the owner hath not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. Okay, that's the end of chapter 21. Okay, so these are a lot of rules. So I encourage, I'm not going to go through and break down what every single one of them means. I encourage you to do self-study and dive into that. And we're far enough in the Bible. That's the wonderful thing, is that all the time, you read enough of the Bible, it will define itself. So what you'll notice now is that we're not looking up everything on Google now to get technical definitions. Still continue to do that if it's a word that you don't know the technical meaning of. But as far as understanding the essence, the sense, the grasping, the message that's in the words, you can put it together now by previous reference. You're going to see words start to repeat themselves. You can say, where did I see that? Read where you saw that before to gain a context, and you'll start really gaining understanding. So chapter 22, we're continuing with, these are more commandments, because people talk about 10 commandments. It's a whole lot more. So chapter 22, if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution, for he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be oxen or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put it in his beast, and shall feed it in another man's field, of the beast of his own field and of the beast of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. If fire break out and catch the thorn, so that the stack of corn or the standing of corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief not be found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he hath put his hands into his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, for any manner of lost thing which another challenged to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or a beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he have not put his hand on his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring forth witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrifices unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. Oh wow, I'm gonna highlight that. I like that, because that really speaks. Y'all better be careful how y'all treat them babies. And if my wrath shall wax hot, I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. So what that means is, if you lend money to somebody that's poorer than you, when it says that thou shalt not be him an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury, that means you don't do it as a benefit to yourself, and you don't charge that person interest. So if you helping somebody out that's poorer than you and you lending them money, you don't lend them money for a benefit to yourself, because they're in a worse situation. So that's, it's wrong. Now, if thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to plague, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. So by the end of the day, for that is his covering only, and his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. And thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of the ripe fruits of thy fruits, and of thy liquors, the firstum of thy sons shall thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thine sheep 7 days. It shall be with his dame, and on the 8th day thou shalt give it me. And ye shall be holy men unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it unto the dogs. So don't eat nothing that you find dead. Give it to the dogs. Okay, chapter 23. Thou shalt not rise a false prophet. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thine enemy ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and the righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the wounds of the righteous. Also thou shalt not oppress a stranger. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous. Also thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and thou shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But in the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. 6 days thou shalt do work, and on that 7th day thou shalt rest, and thine oxen and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and thy stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command thee, and in the time appointed, the month of Abib, for in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of the harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown into the fields, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in the labors out of the field. 3 times in the year, all thy males shall appear before the Lord God. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifices with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt seeth a kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee unto the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Havites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will make sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and I will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds before the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Philistines, from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them from before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. Thou shalt not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. Okay, that's the end of chapter 23. Now, I have these listed. These are not only commandments, but promises. As you can see, like the pattern of this is, do this and I'll do this, do this and I'll do this, do this and I'll do this. God is saying, if you listen to my commandments, hearken unto my voice, then I will do all these things for you. So we have commandments in here, but we also have promises that come layered with those commandments. Chapter 24. And he said unto Moses, come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, all the words which the Lord hath said we will do. And Moses swore And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, and he read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it unto the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw God, and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur were with you. If any man leave any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up to the mount, and a cloud covered the mount, and the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud, and the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and got him up in the mount, and Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, so God making some tablets for Moses. Okay, chapter 25. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and badger skin, and shimmet wool wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stone, and the stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of smitten wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1.5 cubits the breadth thereof, and 1.5 cubits the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shall make it upon a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold forward, and put them 4 rings of gold forward for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of smitten wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, and the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark a testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2.5 cubits shall be the length thereof, and 1.5 cubits the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shall thou make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherubim on the one end, and the other cherubim on the other end. Even the mercy seat shall thou make the cherubim in the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another towards the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there, okay, so basically that what that was. We're not to the end of the chapter, but all that was a description. God is saying, hey, I'm going to give you, what we may recognize or know today is what the Ark of the Covenant, the box. Have you ever seen like the Mummy, like movies and stuff like that, where they're like looking for like this box or whatever? This would be what you would envision is the Ark. God is saying, build this because I'm going to give you something to put in it, and I want to build you to all this specification. So he's saying, cover it in gold, put a cherubim on this side, a cherubim on that side, make sure the cherubim is facing this way, it need to be covered in gold in and out. So that was the instructions on how to build. He's God finna give him something, and he telling him to build something to put it in before he give it to him. Okay. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark, and on that ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. So that the mercy seat, he's saying where the stones that he's going to give him, this is where that should rest. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all the things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table of smitten wood, 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereunto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make it unto a border of an hand breadth around about. So however wide it's supposed to be, that's him telling him, a hand breadth round about. And thou shalt make a golden crown, and the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be the places for staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of smitten wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, and the coverings thereof, and the bowls thereof, to cover withal of pure gold thou shalt make them. And thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me always. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work shall be the candlestick made. His staff and his branches, his bowls and his knops and his flowers shall be of the same. And the 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side of it, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side of it. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with the knop and the flower in one branch, and the 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with the knop and the flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. And the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same, and it shall be of one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make 7 lamps thereof, and thou shalt light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it. And with these vessels, and look at thou make them after the pattern which I've showed thee in this mount. That's the end of chapter 25. So he's telling him specifically how to build the altar. And when you talk about the candlesticks and stuff like that, like you have to just picture in your mind, and I'm not putting anything in anybody's head. I want everybody to do your self-study. I'm not going to tell you what nothing definitively means. It's all about my ability just to simply recite so that you can hear the word and then encourage the self-study. But you can see how vivid it is, how detailed it is. It's telling him how to build the altar. And the candlesticks that's going to go around it, and the posts that are going to hold it up, it needs to be supported with these, like down to the rings that are going to support the wood that's going to support the table. It's very detailed. Chapter 26. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twilled linen, and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work thou shalt make them. The length of one curtain shall be 1/8 of the 20 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of them curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another. The other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. And likewise thou shalt make the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shalt thou make in one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And thou shalt make the curtains of goat's hair, and be covered upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains that shalt thou make. And the length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And thou shalt double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of one curtain that is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt, now what we're describing here is how to build. So he's told him how to build the altar, and now he's describing to him, when they say tabernacle, it's essentially a tent. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and the couple of the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and the covering above of badger skin, and thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of smitten wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set it in order against one another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards on the south side southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards unto sockets, unto one board of 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side there shall be 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacles westward thou shalt make 6 boards, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle on the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver 16 sockets, and sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And they shall make bars of smitten wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle of the bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings for gold for places of the earth for the bars. And thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt tear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work, with cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon the 4 pillars of smitten wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon 4 sockets of silver. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches, and thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the holy place. And thou shalt set the table with the veil and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle towards the south, and shall pour the table on the north side. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging of 5 pillars of smitten wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold, and thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Hey, that's the end of chapter 26. So he's given, like, this is the most holiest set of IKEA instructions ever. You know, God is telling them how to build the ark, how to build the altar, now how to build the tent, and then how to go in and set all this stuff up. So this is just very detailed instructions. Okay, chapter 27. And thou shalt make an altar of smitten wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad, and the altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits, and thou shalt make the horns of it upon 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and the fire pans, and the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make it for a grate. Thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass, and upon the net shalt thou make 4 basin rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even in the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves for the smitten wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put in the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with the boards shall thou make it, and it will show thee in the mount. So shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of tabernacle for the south side southward. There shall be handlings of the court of fine twined linen, and of 100 cubits long for one side, and the 20 pillars thereof, and the 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side of the length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and this 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillers of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, and their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side and eastward shall be 50 cubits, and the hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be the hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filled with silver, and their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 50 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. And all the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil, olive beaten before the coals of the lamp to burn away. What is that? And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil, olive beaten from the lights, to cause the lamp to burn always. And the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening till morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute for everyone forever unto the generations on behalf of the children of Israel. Okay, chapter 28. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Elzar, and Itamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, to whom have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments, to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle, And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that they may minister unto me unto the priest's office. And they shall take a gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. And it shall have 2 shoulder pieces thereof, joined at the 2 edges thereof, and it shall be joined together. And the curious girdle of the ephod which is upon it shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and grave them into the names of the children of Israel. Six of their names on one stone, and the other 6 of the names will rest on the other stone, according to their birth, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet shalt thou engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be a set in ouches of gold. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of weathering work. Thou shalt make them and fasten them, weathering chains and the ouches. And thou shalt make a breastplate of judgment with cunning work after the work of the ephod. Thou shalt make it of gold, of blue, of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen. Thou shalt make it 4 square. It shall be being doubled. A span shall be the lift thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set it in settings of stone, even 4 rows of stone. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a linger, and a gate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row beryl, and an onyx, and jasper. And they shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains at the end of weathering work of pure gold. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And thou shalt put 2 weathering chains of gold on the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate, and the 2 other ends of the 2 weathering chains thou shalt fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And thou shalt make 2 rings of gold, and thou shalt put them on the 2 ends of the breastplates on the border thereof, which is on the side of the ephod inward. And the 2 other rings of gold thou shalt make, and shalt put them in the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, towards the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof into the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosened from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he goeth into the holy place for the memorial before the Lord continually. And thou shalt put the breastplate of judgment, the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And thou shalt make a robe of the ephod of all blue, and there shall be an holy in top of it, in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven worn around about the whole of it, and it were a whole of an habergon, that it be not rent. So that must be like some thick cloth. I don't have my phone right here to look it up, but I think that's what it is. It said, because it said that it be not rent, so it must be some kind of thick cloth that can't be torn very easily. And beneath upon the hem of it thou shalt make pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about, and golden bells, and pomegranate, and a golden bell, and and a pomegranate upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth in the holy place from before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he die not. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, and grave upon it like the engravings of the sickness, holiness of the Lord. Thou shalt put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the mattire, upon the forefront of the mattire shall it be. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Israel shall hallow in their holy gifts. And it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. And thou shalt embroider the coat of fine linen, and thou shalt make the mattire of fine linen, and thou shalt make the girdle of needlework. And for Aaron's sons thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles and bonnets, that thou shalt make for them for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put upon them Aaron's brothers and his sons with him. Thou shalt anoint them and consecrate them and sanctify them, that they minister to me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come into the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It should be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him. Okay, that's the end of chapter 28. So he just gave him like a whole outfit. So just as he was detailed in the tabernacle and building the altar, he was like, okay, Moses, go get your brother. Your brother is finna be like our head pastors, him and all his sons. They're gonna minister my word, and they got to be dressed to the nines when they do it. So it sounds like a very heavy outfit. Gold, I'm talking about is diamonds, emeralds, sapphires. It sounds cute. Heavy, but cute. Chapter 29. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take 1 young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread and cakes unleavened, tempered with oil, and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil. Of wheat and flour shall thou make them. And thou shalt put them into 1 basket, and bring them into the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall wash them with water. And thou shalt take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the robe of the ephod, and the ephod and the breastplate, and gird him with the curious girdle of the ephod. And thou shalt put the mattire upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mattire. Then shalt thou take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. And thou shalt bring his sons and put coats upon them, and thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute. And thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons. And thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt take the blood of the bullock and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy fingers, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung shalt thou burn with the fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. And thou shalt also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. And thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him and his legs, and put them into his pieces and into his head. And thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord, that it is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And thou shalt take of the blood that is upon the altar and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him. He shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Also thou shalt take of the ram of the fat, and the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and in the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and their right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. And 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of unleavened bread that is before the Lord. And thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron, in the hands of his sons, and shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And thou shalt receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for the burnt offerings, for a sweet savor before the Lord. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it before the offering before the Lord, and it shall be thy part. And thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by statute forever from the children of Israel, for it is a heave offering. And it shall be a heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, and their heave offering unto the Lord. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, and be anointed therein, and be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days, when he cometh into the tabernacle of the congregation to minister in the holy place. And thou shalt take the ram of the consecration, and seeth his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they shall eat those things wherein the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them, but a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And so the food is holy, and the stranger can't get it. And if the flesh of the consecrations or the bread remain to the morning, then thou shalt burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus thou shalt do unto Aaron and his sons according to all the things which I have commanded. These 7 days shalt thou consecrate them, and thou shalt offer 7 days. Then thou shalt offer every day a bullock for the sin offering for atonement, and thou shalt cleanse the altar when thou hast made an atonement for it, and thou shalt atone it to sanctify it. 7 days thou shalt make an atonement for the altar and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever touches the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the offer: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day continually. The 1 lamb thou shalt offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. And with the 1 lamb, 1/10 dealing of flour mingled with the 4th part of him of beaten oil, and the 4th part of him and the 4th part of an hin of wine for drink offering. And the other lamb that thou offer at evening, and shall do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savory, and offering made by fire unto the Lord. This shall be the continual burnt offerings throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, where I will meet you to speak there unto thee. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will be their God. And they shall know that I am their God, that brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, that I may dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. Okay, that's the end of chapter 29. So he's giving instructions on the process for Aaron to sanctify himself. He's putting Aaron and his sons in this holy position, and he's telling them how they're to prepare the offerings and how they are to consume it and the routine. So this is all just instruction. Chapter 30. And thou shalt make an altar to burn incense upon of smitten wood, thou shalt make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 square shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof, and horns thereof shall be of the same. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, the top thereof, and the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof. And thou shalt make it unto a crown of gold round about. 2 golden rings shall thou make it under the crown of it, by the 2 corners thereof. Upon the 2 sides of it shall thou make it, and they shall be for places of the staves to bear it withal. And thou shalt make the staves of smitten wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresses the large lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before the Lord throughout your generation. Ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifices, nor meat offerings, neither shall you pour drink offerings thereon. And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in the year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto the Lord. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, When thou takest the son of the children of Israel after their number, then they shall give every man a ransom for his soul unto the Lord when thou numberest them, and there be no plague among them when thou numberest them. And they shall give every one that passeth among them that are numbered half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. A shekel is 20 gerahs, and half a shekel shall be the offering of the Lord. Every one that passeth among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto the Lord. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half of a shekel. When they give an offering unto the Lord, make an atonement for your souls, and thou shall take the atonement money of the children, and shall appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Israel before the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Thou shalt also make a laver of brass, and his foot also of brass, to wash withal. And thou shalt put it between the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and thou shalt put water therein. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat. And when they go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not, or they come near the altar to minister burnt offerings made by fire unto the Lord. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not, and it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and his seed throughout their generations. Moreover, the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Take thou also the principal spices, pure of myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus, 250 shekels, and of cassia, 500 shekels, after the shekel of sanctuary, and of oil, olive, and hin. So that's a hin it's like a cup of oil, and I don't know if it's a cup, but whatever unit of measurement that is. And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment, and ointment compound after the art of the apothecary. It shall be an holy anointing oil. So apothecary. I'm going to look that up later. But that's some kind of process after the art of apothecary. So it's some kind of way that they specifically prepare the holy oil. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony, and the table, and all his vessels, and the candlestick of his vessels, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offerings with his vessels, and the laver and his foot. And thou shalt sanctify them, and they be made most holy. Whatsoever touch them shall be holy. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, This shall be an holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compoundeth any like it, and whosoever put any part of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take unto thee sweet spices, sach and onchiach and galbam, these sweet spices with pure frankincense, each shall there be like weight. And thou shalt make it a perfume and a confection after the art of the apothecary. That's that word again, apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. So that's a reference to some process that I'm going to look up. And thou shalt make it a perfume and confection after the art of apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And thou shalt beat some of it very well, and put it before the testimony in the tabernacle of the congregation, where I will meet thee. It shall be unto you most holy. As for the perfume which thou shalt make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It shall be unto thee holy for the Lord. Whosoever shall make like unto it, the smell thereto shall even be cut off from his people. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 31. We're going to stop there. We'll pick back up on chapter 31 of Exodus on our next session. But as you can see, it's a lot of instructions. The Lord was real detailed in how he wanted us to build, dress, sanctify, interact, the whole nine. He said, make this perfume, but this perfume is only for me. If you put it on your skin, you're in trouble. That's for me. That's exclusively the Lord sent. Calvin Klein Lord's edition. You feel me? So thank y'all again for spending some time with me. And that is another session of Kickback Bible Study, and I will see y'all next time.